Well, one of the big issues in most of our lives today is this work-life balance. Is there even such a thing? Everyone wants it, but it seems very elusive. So how can you start living a great life? Samantha Ettus, author of The Pie Life, is here to tell us how this morning. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for
We
having
have the
me.
book here. If you'd like to pick it up, it's called The Pie Life. So what is your strategy for people?
Sure. Well, I think that the way we talk about work and life is so flawed. We talk about a scale, and for a scale to be in perfect balance, it has to have equal time at work and at home, and that never happens if you have a real career. And then we talk about having it all, and nobody does. And we talk about, juggling, and anyone who's had a conference call with a baby or a pet in the room knows that's not possible. So I realized after working with thousands of women that the happiest and most fulfilled were those that were involved in 6 or 7 areas of their life. It wasn't just 1 or 2 or 3. And we've gotten to this place where we tend to talk about women's lives as just motherhood or work. But there's so many more dimensions to us. There's our relationship and our friends and our community and even our hobbies and our health. And so making time for each of those is really important. Even if things are just a sliver right now, you want to incorporate them into your life.
But that, I think, can be hard. I feel like I'm spread so thin that sometimes I'm really wondering if I did an okay job at any of those slices of life because I am spread so thin. So how do you handle that?
Well, part of the reason I love the pie metaphor is because the most delicious pies are not the perfect store-bought ones. They're the messy, gooey, dripping off the side ones. And that's how your life is supposed to look. It's not supposed to be perfect, but somehow along the way, we have this image of that one person on Facebook or that one person, at drop-off, our neighbor who has the perfect life. And I can tell you, nobody has the life you think they do. So instead of striving for perfection, say, I'm doing my best and I'm giving everything I can. One of the best ways to eliminate the guilt that comes with a lot of this is to realize that, when you're present with your kids and focused on them and not checking and distracted every second, that's the best gift you can give them. When you're at work and you're giving 110%, it makes it easier to go home and kind of shut off.
So is some of this just our outlook? Are we flawed in how we approach this?
Some of it, I wouldn't say flawed, but because this is a very positive approach, but it's more of the idea of let's drop the guilt, let's drop the quest for perfection, let's give ourselves permission to go on the mom's night out or to go on date night with your husband. And those are the kinds of things that are really important for a happy life. And in the book, I do talk about some of the time-saving techniques. There's a chapter called the 25th hour, because when I present this to women, they'll say, oh my gosh, it sounds amazing, but I barely have time for the life I have. I don't have, and I'm only involved in 3 slices right now. How would I have time for 7 or 6? And so I feel like it's my responsibility to give you your time back.
And I know that you talk about just basic things like getting up an hour earlier than your children, things like that.
Things like that, and doing all your errands within the golden triangle, the 3 points between your office and your home and your child's school. There is a hairstylist within a mile that's just as good, even though you're wed to the one an hour away. So things like that, athletes win or lose races based on transitions. So you want your transitions to be really smooth because you know what it's like in the morning. Things just go, the unexpected happens, right? Your kid realizes they have homework that they'd forgotten about, or, someone's not feeling well. There's always the unexpected, but if you are more prepared for your mornings, they go a lot more smoothly.
Okay, Samantha, thanks so much for coming in. The book is called The Pie Life, if you would like to check it out. And it is the guilt-free recipe for success. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. And the tattered cover has signed copies, so.
Great. Okay, back to you, Tom.
Heading for 8 o'clock here on